This wild horse had lost all hope of breaking free after becoming stuck. But suddenly a miracle occurred. Depending on where you reside, wild horses may be rather uncommon. For instance, they are only present in a few locations around the United Kingdom. One of these is in the Gower region of southern Wales, close to the Lofo estuary. And it was here that one unlucky mare found herself in a tricky situation. The Lofo estuary in Gower is a beautiful natural area. However, due to its location, it has quite a large tidal pool. This means that when the sea is at low tide, the water recedes quite far up to the estuary, leaving behind a large area of low-lying marshland where horses are often found grazing. However, this also means that when the tide turns, it can engulf all of the marshland in a matter of a few hours. Usually, the animals that occupy the land when the sea is out will evacuate as the water comes back in. But in 2018, this became quite a big problem for one wild horse who found herself unable to move. The mare had become stuck on the marshland, and to make matters worse, she had a young foal with her who refused to leave its mother behind. Luckily, a member of the public had been out on a walk on that particular day and had spotted the downed horse struggling to get back onto her feet again. Worried for the animal's safety, as the tide would soon be coming in again, the person quickly called the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, otherwise known as the RSPCA. They told the members of the charity about the situation and where to find the poor animals. They also promised to stay with the horses whilst they waited for the volunteers to arrive. After waiting for roughly a half an hour, the volunteers from the RSPCA finally arrived on the scene, only to see just how dire and heartbreaking the situation was. Stuck on a small bluff out in the marshland was the white mare. She was lying on the ground whilst her chestnut-colored foal was nearby, and quite agitated, pacing back and forth. Since the horse appeared to be in good health at first, the rescuers were unsure of what exactly was wrong with her. The volunteers quickly realized what had truly transpired as they drew nearer to the horse. It came out that the mare's right hind leg had been entangled in her matted mane. The volunteers had no idea how she did it, but their best theory was that she got her foot hooked while trying to scratch an itch close to her head. Once the issue had been located, the rescuers had to decide how to assist the entangled mare. They knew that they had to approach the situation carefully, as they didn't want to frighten the horse any more than she already was, or fear she'd try to hurt the volunteers, or even worse, cause more damage to her own leg by attempting to get up and run away. If she were to break her leg, for instance, then the rescuers would be in big trouble, as they only had a limited amount of resources on them, and definitely not anything that would help transport an injured horse and her foal before the tide came in. With this in mind, the rescuers carefully and cautiously approached both the mare and her foal. With the mare trapped on the ground, she wasn't likely to charge at them. But the volunteers had to be wary of the foal. It might seem little and harmless, but it could still pack a punch by either kicking at them or trying to bite them. As soon as the volunteers tried to approach the mare, she struggled to get back up on her feet in an effort to escape. However, she quickly fell back down again. Meanwhile, her foal began to pace up and down, clearly scared of the unknown humans making their way towards it, but not wanting to stray too far from its mother. As soon as the volunteers were only a few feet away from the mare, the foal ran off to the side, out of reach of the volunteers should they try to capture it, but still close enough to see what was going on. This was actually quite helpful for the volunteers, as they were now able to get to the female horse without worrying about the baby trying to scare them away. One of the volunteers carefully walked behind the mare and sat down just behind her head, but the mare was scared and very skittish. Being wild, she was clearly not used to a human touching her, and she didn't know how to react, so she began to throw her head about and even attempted to try and stand up again. The volunteer was determined to help the animal, though, and so he started stroking the horse's head and neck in an effort to calm her down and give her reassurance that they were only there to help her. Upon feeling the gentle and calming touch, the mare soon began to calm down. She then proceeded to lie her head down on the floor, almost as if she knew that the people were there to help her and to free her from her restraint. Once the volunteer knew that the horse wasn't going to try and get away again, he carefully used a knife to cut away the matted section of her mane that was holding her foot in place. That being done, he quickly jumped up from his position on the floor and moved away from the horse so that he would not end up spooking her or getting in the way while she got used to being free again. With the man out of the way, the mare calmly sat up and looked around, as if assessing her situation and coming to realize that she had finally regained the use of all of her legs. Even while it still took a wide room to all of the nearby volunteers, her foal made its way back over to her and remained close by, as if to urge her to attempt to get back up. The white horse needed a bit longer to gather her courage before attempting to stand back up. However, she only managed to do so for a couple of seconds before falling back down onto the ground again. The RSPCA rescuers had no clue just how long the mare had been stuck for, but it had clearly been long enough for her leg to start weakening due to not having been used for a while. Even though there was no visible wound, they began to worry that the horse's leg was injured. They were starting to ponder whether they should call for backup when a few moments later, the mare tried to get back on her feet again and finally managed. She was back up on her four legs, at first somewhat unsteady. The mare and her foal made their way out of the small ditch that they had been stuck in. The white horse then came to a stop as if to get her bearings right and regain her confidence in walking. She turned back to the rescuers, who were all thrilled to see the beautiful animal and her baby safe and well again. The white mare looked at all of the RSPCA staff as if to thank them for helping her, before heading off across the marshland with her foal. With the two horses saved, the RSPCA volunteers made their way back to their cars, happy that they had managed to save the lives of these beautiful creatures. Thanks to these kind-hearted volunteers and the concerned member of the public, these two horses were able to be rescued from what could have been a terrible fate had they been left to fend for themselves with the tide rising again. It merely serves as further proof that one of the best things to do in life is to be kind to those who need it, whether they are people or animals. What aspect of the narrative is your favorite? Please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this story. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get frequent updates if you want to see even more wonderful content.